I'm here from Educational Kids Play, and today I'm with Steve Light, creator and creative talent behind Steve Light Storyboxes. Beautiful, beautiful, well crafted. I'm so excited. These are great, great props for children to start the storytelling process.
Thanks, that's what we hope.
Can you give me a bit of background, Steve, first about yourself for our viewers? And
Sure. I'm a children's book author and illustrator, but also a storyteller. So I was doing storytellings for a school. I do a lot of storytellings through a lot of different schools and museums. But this one school, I was doing storytellings for all 10 classes. And one class always wanted to hear Hansel and Gretel. It's the only story they wanted to hear. And so I had two little wood pieces that were the same size, so I carved Hansel and Gretel just for fun. And I brought them in to tell the story. And after I was done, they said, well, where's the witch? And where's the cottage? And where's, and I said, oh, that would be great. And I put them all in a little wood cigar box, and I brought it so that I could carry from classroom to classroom. And that's how the story boxes started. And I did a bunch of different stories. And Guidecraft has done 4 stories that they've recreated from my hand wood carved pieces, making them out of resin, so it's easier to clean in the classroom and for parents.
Which is important.
Yeah, you can just soak them in a bleach and water solution, overnight and stuff. So whereas the wood wouldn't hold up, and they've done a beautiful job. And it's amazing when I tell these stories every other week. Because I teach 4 and 5-year-olds now in a nursery school. I've taught kindergarten through 8th, and I've taught even the college level for illustration and drawing. I love the preschool age. I love 4 and 5s. When you tell them a story, it's like they're there, and it's magical, and all the magical exploration that age does. So when I tell a story every other week to about 40 kids, because I have 2 classes that come in. And you see over the year how they'll start telling stories, and they'll start building little boxes and props, and then they want you to write down their story, and they want you to, and they'll draw pictures.
It starts the whole language and storytelling, all of that process going.
And it's really beautiful, and they just, they'll add all different things, and I mean, that's our hope, is that, they'll get Hansel and Gretel and Rapunzel, but, Hansel and Gretel will rescue Rapunzel, or be eaten by the monster of the girl who loves danger, or...
And they're charming. I have to show our viewers, I love the uniqueness of each piece within the storytelling. It's just, and they're very weighty. They're good.
They're really
not flimsy,
high quality resin.
Great quality.
That was very important.
The colors are attractive. I also like how there's the different cultures that you've incorporated, different cultures, because we have become such a nice melting pot. It's just lovely to introduce new stories to other cultures that might not be aware.
And it's
was
a great
that
thing.
Conscious effort on your
part? It
part?
was a conscious effort. I mean, as it being part German, of course I loved Hansel and Gretel and the Grimm's fairy tales, but I also am very interested in all the other folk tales. So we consciously picked certain stories that that I started to pick certain stories because as a teacher I was doing African stories, and we were studying African masks, and we were studying all these different African things. So I wanted an African story box that I could tell, and then read them a few different African stories and make African masks out of cardboard and do all those things, and
this is just a really great component in my mind of how to take a 2-dimensional story from a book and give it life for a child and for a teacher too, because to read the book constantly, you need these props, and these are great props.
Thanks.
To pull the children in sometime, and really, you've done a beautiful job. I think it's really well done.
It's amazing because when I usually sit on the floor and I just do it in front of me. The great thing about these boxes is the lids come off, and you can flip it over and use the lid as a little platform if you're on a rug, so the little pieces will stand up. And I always say, if you can see this little top, you'll be able to see everything. So the kids jockey around so they can see. But also, when you're acting out with these little pieces, it's children relate to it because that's how they play. When they get blocks, the popsicle sticks become characters, and the Legos become, and you'll see them act them out anyway. So when you're acting out with these, they totally get it, and they totally focus in and love to hear these stories. Plus, not a lot of people just tell them a story. Obviously there's reading and everything, but to tell a child a story is magical now because it uses all these different parts of the brain that aren't necessarily used, and it's not as passive as you think because they're relating to you, as a person, and your language and your tone and making a silly voice for one of the characters, is really interesting.
You do that well. I have to admit, I was so impressed.
I know, and people are like, oh, but we don't have you. But you know what? If you're just a ham, just ham it up. And I've told stories, and it'll be new, and I'll forget something. I'll be like, oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you that they forgot to find the magic seed back here. And children will go with you if you just go with it, and you just, they'll
jump on that bandwagon.
They understand that, and wasn't that a great thing to teach them?
Yeah.
I made a mistake, but we're gonna go back and I'm gonna tell you that part, and we're still gonna enjoy the story. And that's like the most important lesson you can show them. So I wouldn't worry about being me when you're telling the story. Just be yourself, ham it up. Just be the biggest ham you can. Any kind of voices you can do. And if you miss a beat, you can always go back.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, can you tell us about your other projects, what you're doing?
Sure. As a children's book author and illustrator, I've done a board book called Trucks Go, which is about the sounds that trucks make, and we just did a companion book, Trains Go. So I'm very excited about that because I was a train kid, a train boy. As a kid.
Boys are.
Love trains. And then with Candlewick Press, we're doing a new book called Zephyr Takes Flight, which comes out in October 2012, and it's about a little girl who finds a flying machine of her grandfather's, and she flies away to this other land.
And your beautiful illustrations.
And they're all Zephyr Takes Flight is all hand drawn with fountain pens, which is a big passion of mine. And all hand colored with pastels and color pencils and everything. So.
Where can we find more information about you?
Oh, you can go to my website, which is www.stevelightart.com, which is all one word.
I think that's where I found you.
Yep, and then I also have an Amazon author page. So if you put in Trucks Go by Steve Light and scroll down, you'll see Steve Light's author page, and then you can see all my books.
Excellent. Well, Steve, I really want to thank you very much for your time today, and we've learned a lot, and your enthusiasm and your beautiful storyboxes are amazing. I wish you all the best and success, and I can't wait for new ones.
Yes.